In the digital sprawl of a suburban bedroom in Willow Creek, where the hum of cooling fans and the glow of rub LEDs painted the walls with a kaleidoscope of colors that pulsed like a heartbeat in the stillness of the night, a chaotic symphony of teenage life reverberated through the air, mingled with the sharp tang of energy drinks that stained the air with their bitter edge, a taste of adrenaline, and the faint whiff of stale chips scattered across the floor like the remnants of a forgotten feast, a testament to late-night battles. The year 2025 delivered a seismic shock to a tight-knit group of online friends, their lives a fragile tapestry of camaraderie woven with laughter, betrayal stitched with deceit, and the faint glimmer of redemption flickering like a lagging stream in a power outage that threatened to disconnect them all, a fragile thread in the digital void, nestled in a quiet neighborhood lined with cookie-cutter houses that stood like silent sentinels and glowing screens that cast their light into the night, piercing the darkness with their glow. Willow Creek was a haven of youth culture where the rhythm of gaming marathons that stretched into dawn and Reddit threads that buzzed with life shaped their days, a world where the thrill of virtual conquests masked an undercurrent of hidden revelries that simmered beneath the surface like a dormant volcano, unspoken crushes that lingered like unopened messages in a crowded inbox, and secrets that festered like a virus in a server crash, ready to erupt with the force of a ban wave that would erase their bonds and scatter their digital families. At the epicenter of this digital implosion was Kay Larson, a 16-year-old gaming enthusiast with restless hazel eyes that hid a storm of suppressed hurt, their depths a battlefield of emotions where battles raged unseen, his life unraveling after years of a relationship strained by online distractions that pulled them apart like a tide receding from the shore, and a growing rift that left his heart glitching like a corrupted file, a digital wound that refused to heal, seeking support from his online crew, a digital family that included his best friend Jace Carter, a 17-year-old streamer with a cocky grin that masked his ambition, a mask that hid his true intent. Jace lived in a mirrored setup across the street, his room a shrine to his rising fame, filled with the hum of sponsorship deals that buzzed like bees in a hive and the glow of donation alerts that lit his nights like a beacon, a temple of vanity, while Kay's girlfriend, Lila, a 15-year-old artist with a shy demeanor that hid her inner turmoil, a storm brewing beneath her calm, shared their virtual world, her sketches a quiet escape from the chaos, a canvas of her soul painted with silent tears. The devastating moment hit on July 25, 2025, at 12:26 EEST, the current time as the neighborhood buzzed with midday activity, a home of normalcy that would soon shatter like glass under a hammer, when Kay, logging into his stream to check progress on their latest raid, a quest for glory, witnessed a horror that would fragment his digital reality into 1,000 broken pixels, a mosaic of pain that reflected his shattered world. Kay's life had been a grind of late-night raids that tested his endurance and fleeting news that flickered across the screen like fireflies in the dark. His relationship with Lila, a bond built on shared playlists that harmonized their hearts like a symphony, and pixelated battles that tested their skills, a dance of strategy, now fraying under the strain of Jace's growing popularity, a wedge driven by envy that gnawed at him like a persistent bug, and neglect that eroded their connection, a rift that widened with every ignored message, a chasm that swallowed their love. His room, once a haven of laughter, that echoed off the walls like a chorus of joy, and controller clacks that punctuated their victories, a rhythm of triumph, had grown tense, the silence between updates, a void that swallowed his hope, a chasm of loneliness that echoed with his solitude. On that fateful noon, as the clock struck 12:26 EEST, aligning with 5:26 set, the sun filtering through blinds casting striped shadows that sliced the room, a pattern of light and dark that mirrored his fractured mind, Kay clicked into his stream, his headset still warm from the last session, its weight a comfort in the storm, and froze, his fingers hovering over the keys like a pianist paused mid-note. The monitor displayed a live Reddit feed hijacked by Jace, showing him in a raw, explicit encounter with Lila on her bed, their bodies locked in a shocking betrayal that defied their friendship. A violation of trust, the stream time-stamped in real time with a flood of comments that poured in like a torrent, gasps and memes and outrage scrolling past in a blur, a digital avalanche. The air thickened with humiliation, a spilled monster can staining his desk with a sticky green pool that spread like his shame, a mark of disgrace, a cracked selfie frame of the trial relic of happier days when trust reigned, a silent accuser that stared with empty eyes, its glass shattered like his trust, a mirror to his shattered world that reflected his pain in every shard. Kay's shout shattered the quiet, a primal yell that echoed through the house like a thunderclap, his hands shaking as Jace's smug laugh cut through the speakers like a knife that sliced his soul, and Lila's guilty sobs mingled with the digital static, a sound that pierced his heart like an arrow, a wound that bled digitally. The aftermath unleashed a torrent of shame that crashed through Willow Creek like a DOS attack that overwhelmed the servers, a digital deluge that drowned their peace in a sea of pixels, a flood that swept away their innocence. Kay fled to his online cruise Discord, his mind replaying the stream with every scroll that dragged him deeper into the abyss, a descent into despair, the chat blinding him with outrage that burned his eyes, a fire of judgment that consumed his thoughts, while Jace, reeling from the backlash that flooded his notifications like a tidal wave, admitted the fling started during a late-night collab when the adrenaline was high, a rush that clouded his judgment, spiraling into a lust that consumed him like a glitch in the code, a corruption of their bond, a confession that fell from his fingers like deleted text, lost in the void of cyberspace. Lila, tearful and trembling, sent a shaky apology that wavered on the screen like a mirage, claiming peer pressure had pushed her over the edge, a flimsy excuse that crumbled under scrutiny. But the damage was viral, a virus that spread across the internet like wildfire, infecting every corner of their digital lives. Kay sought refuge in his crew, their virtual voices a faint comfort that barely reached him through the noise, a whisper in the storm, his rage posts gaining traction like wildfire, upvotes piling up like snow rifts that buried his pain, a digital monument to his fury. Jace's apologies VMs were drowned by downvotes that buried his reputation, a tombstone of his fame, his channel tanking as he moved to a burner account to escape the hate, a shadow of his former self lurking in the dark corners of the web. That months later, Kay learned through Reddit threads that drifted like digital whispers, a murmur of betrayal, that Jace and Lila had continued their hookups off-stream, meeting in secret gaming dens where the lights were dim, a revelation that reignited his fury like a server reboot with a vengeance, a blaze that consumed his thoughts, while a crew member confessed a similar betrayal with a rival planned, a mirror of his pain reflected in a hall of achos. Their bond frayed like a lagging connection that stuttered and died, but tensions flared as Kay's vendetta to expose them clashed with calls to move on, splitting the group into factions that warred. In the chat, a battlefield of words and emojis. By 2030, Kay and his loyal crew drifted to new servers, finding new friends that offered fragile peace, a truce in the digital war that raged, their chats a tentative rhythm that stumbled over old wounds, a dance of healing while Jace's career fizzled into obscurity, his streams silent like a graveyard, Lila's art fading into the baccalogram round noise of forgotten posts, a whisper lost in the wank. In 2100, descendants uncovered Kay's archived streams and Reddit archives, revealing a teen saga tied to Willow Creek's digital lore, a history written in code and tears that stained the digital page, a chronicle of their fall. By 3000, a descendant, Kyle Larson, led a healing movement in a futuristic Willow Creek where bedroom etches blended with holographic cities that pulsed with light, a symphony of progress, fulfilling a legacy of reconciliation with a heart heavy with the weight of the past, a burden that shaped his steps, while etches of the affair lingered, shaping online dynamics across dimensions that stretched beyond the screen into infinity, a vast expanse of virtual reality. In the sprawling expanse of Willow Creek's digital evolution, the story of Kay, Jace, and Lila grew into a legend whispered across servers, a tale of betrayal that fueled memes and mods that spread like wildfire, their legacy, a thread in the fabric of the internet's endless weave, a tapestry of pain and redemption. The neon glow of their youth faded into the archives, a relic of a bygone era, but the sting of that 12/26 and betrayal on July 25, 2025, remained a scar on the collective memory, a wound that healed only in the distant future where reconciliation reigned, a future where the pixels of their pain transformed into a beacon of hope for generations to come, a light that guided them through the digital night. The saga expanded beyond the screen, weaving through the lives of their descendants who carried the weight of their actions, their stories branching into parallel worlds where every choice echoed, a chorus of voices that sang of love, loss, and the eternal quest for peace in a universe bound by code and connection. As the years stretched into centuries, Willow Creek became a symbol of resilience, its digital streets alive with the ghosts of past betrayals and the promise of future healing. Kay's rage posts evolved into manifestos of forgiveness, Jace's fall a cautionary tale in virtual academies, and Lila's sketches a gallery of redemption displayed in holographic museums. The affair's ripples touched every corner of the multiverse, where avatars and companions recounted the tale, their voices a blend of sorrow and triumph, a narrative that grew with each retelling, a story that refused to fade into the static of forgotten data. In the 4000s, a coalition of digital heroes launched a global initiative to mend broken bonds, their efforts a testament to the legacy born from that fateful stream, a legacy that spanned galaxies and timelines, a beacon that shone through the endless code of existence, a light that never dimmed. The tale of Willow Creek's teens became a cultural cornerstone, inspiring virtual reality experiences where users relived the betrayal and sought their own redemption, an interactive journey through pain and healing. By 5000, the event was immortalized in a planetary archive, its data etched into crystalline servers that orbited distant stars, a monument to human emotion in the digital age. Kay's descendants, now stewards of this legacy, guided interdimensional councils, their decisions shaped by the lessons of 2025, a wisdom passed down through the ages like a sacred texture. The affair's echoes resonated in quantum networks, where every packet of data carried a fragment of their story, a digital DNA that evolved with each transmission, a living narrative that grew stronger with time. In the 6000s, Willow Creek transformed into a cybernetic utopia, its skies filled with drones that sang of reconciliation, their melodies a tribute to Kay's journey. The betrayal of 1226 became a pivotal moment in ethics debates, influencing algorithms to prioritize empathy over rivalry, a shift that reshaped the digital landscape. Lila's art, rediscovered in a time capsule, inspired a renaissance of emotional expression, her sketches now holograms that danced in the air, a visual poem of her redemption. Jace's silence was broken by a posthumous confession uploaded from a hidden drive, a final plea for forgiveness that moved millions across dimensions, a ripple that healed old wounds. By 7000, the Willow Creek saga was a cornerstone of intergalactic education, taught in virtual classrooms where students explored the psychology of betrayal through immersive simulations, their avatars walking through Kay's bedroom as it once was. The affair's legacy fueled a movement to integrate emotional intelligence into creating companions that understood the depth of human pain, a revolution born from a teenager's scream. In 7800, a descendant, Kayla Larson, unveiled a monument in Willow Creek's holographic plaza, a structure of light and sound that narrated the story, its climax, the moment of betrayal at 1226, a moment frozen in time yet alive with meaning, a testament to the power of healing across the cosmos. The narrative expanded into infinite dimensions, where every parallel Willow Creek held a version of the tale, each with its own twist. Some where Kay forgave instantly, others where vengeance reigned eternal. These variants converged in a grand council in 7900, where representatives from each timeline debated the essence of redemption, their discussions a symphony of perspectives that enriched their legacy. The affair's impact rippled through time, influencing art, technology, and philosophy, a cultural artifact that evolved with each era, a story that grew from a single stream into a universal epic, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of digital betrayal, a flame that burned brightly across the